Much of what is taught in modern corporate finance courses is twaddle.
Everywhere, investors are told that you can't keep all your eggs in one basket and that you should diversify your portfolio as much as possible. But what if this is nonsense? That has nothing to do with reality. The legendary Warren Buffett and some other prominent investors think exactly that.
We think diversification is, as practiced generally, makes very little sense for anyone that knows what they're doing. Diversification is a protection against ignorance. I mean, if you want to make sure that nothing bad happens to you relative to the market, you own everything. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that is a perfectly sound approach for somebody who does not feel they know how to analyze businesses.
That is why diversification does not make sense to Buffett. He calls it a defense against stupidity. That is, protection against the fact that an investor is not very thorough in choosing stocks and may choose the wrong company. But in this case, it is better not to buy stocks that you're not sure about at all.
If you know how to analyze businesses and value businesses, it's crazy to own 50 stocks or 40 stocks or 30 stocks probably, because there aren't that many wonderful businesses are understandable to a single human being in all likelihood. And to have some super wonderful business and then put money in number 30 or 35 on your list of attractiveness and forego putting more money into number 1 just strikes Charlie and me as madness. It's conventional practice, and if all you have to achieve is average, it may preserve your job, but it's a confession, in our view, that you don't really understand the businesses that you own.
Investments are inextricably linked to risk, and diversification is considered one of the main ways to reduce risk. However, for Buffett, volatility is not a risk, but rather an opportunity to buy shares at a discount. Therefore, the Oracle of Omaha does not rely on diversification, but tries to find reliable companies in whose future results he is confident and build his portfolio around them.
On a personal portfolio basis, I own one stock, but it's a business I know, and it leaves me very comfortable. Do I need to own 28 stocks in order to have proper diversification? It'd be nonsense. And within Berkshire, I could pick out 3 of our businesses, and I would be very happy if they were the only businesses we owned and I had all my money in Berkshire. Now, I love it, the fact that we can find more than that and that we keep adding to it. But 3 wonderful businesses is more than you need in this life to do very well.
Berkshire's CEO says that only 3 outstanding companies are enough in a portfolio. The portfolio of those investors who hold 30 to 50 different companies looks like a zoo.
I mean, if you look at how the fortunes were built in this country, they weren't built out of a portfolio of 50 companies. They were built by someone who identified with a wonderful business. Coca-Cola is a great example. A lot of fortunes have been built on that. And there aren't 50 Coca-Colas. There aren't 20. If there were, it'd be fine. We could all go out and diversify like crazy among that group and get results that would be equal to owning the really wonderful one, but you're not going to find it. And the truth is, you don't need it. I mean, if you have a really wonderful business is very well protected against the vicissitudes of the economy over time and competition. I mean, we're talking about businesses that are resistant to effective competition, and 3 of those will be better than 100 average businesses, and they'll be safer, incidentally. I mean, there is less risk in owning 3 easy to identify wonderful businesses than there is in owning 50 well-known big businesses.
In certain periods, the top companies occupied huge percentages in Buffett's portfolio. For example, half of his own funds were invested in Geico. 32% of Berkshire's capital was invested in Coca-Cola shares. Now about 50% of the company's capital is invested in Apple.
It's amazing what has been taught over the years in finance classes about that, but I can assure you that I would rather pick, if I had to bet the next 30 years on the fortunes of my family that would be dependent upon the income from a given group of businesses, I would rather pick 3 businesses from those we own than own a diversified group of 50.
Instead of spreading your eggs over several baskets, put all your eggs in one and keep a close eye on it. Like this video, that approach made you reflect.
If you find 3 wonderful businesses in your life, you'll get very rich. And if you understand them, bad things aren't going to happen to those 3. I mean, that's the characteristic of it.
Finding and buying a great company and investing most of the money in it is Buffett's way of doing things.
You cannot believe this stuff. I mean, it's modern portfolio theory, and
it has no utility. But I mean, it will tell you how to do average, but I think anybody can figure out how to do average in 5th grade. I mean, it's just not that difficult, and it's elaborate, and there's lots of little Greek letters and all kinds of things to make you feel that you're in the big leagues. But there is no value added.
Can the average retail investor take Buffett's advice and abandon diversification? Well, probably not. After all, Buffett has exceptional talent and knowledge to neglect diversification. And Berkshire's current portfolio consists of quite a large number of different companies, also because of the huge capital. However, even in need diversification, it is important to be careful. Math research shows that a portfolio consisting of 10 stocks reduces risks by half. After 20 stocks, the risk reduction is insignificant. Therefore, owning more than 30 stocks to reduce risk does not make sense. Write in the comments how many companies are in your portfolio. Like, subscribe and watch our other videos.